And we are back to RAYE. What's up, guys? GeorgeTheCloud here. Welcome to the channel and welcome to my life. Big shout out to Z. Thank you so much for the coffee and the support. So RAYE has just come out. I'm actually like 4 days late, but I've been sick. I've been sick and tired of coughing and sneezing, but I'm here. Nightingale Lane, live at Abbey Road Studios, the legendary, London Symphony Orchestra, with the Flames Collective. What a cool name, the Flames Collective. Okay, well, let's check this out. Guys, thank you for being here. If you would like to support my music journey, check out my Patreon over here. Grab some popcorn, fill up your water, put your headphones on. Let's go.
This is a song about the greatest heartbreak I've ever known.
Oh, wow.
The song is called Nightingale Lane. On the street in the South London suburbs, where my first love kissed me goodbye. His lips were thin and beer-stained and tear-stained. Was a pain that made me cold and numb. Up to the oceans I cried, I'm made of steel. Just love. But when I drive down this road, I reminisce. I drive slow, I'm letting go now. I just see a ghost town when sometimes at red lights with closed eyes, I tell myself, I dare myself to go on just saying somebody loved me once, somebody will again, like the way you loved me on Nightingale Lane. Although we never made it, stranger, you showed me it's true. Baby, when I'm loving someone, the way I loved you, it was right there in June, next to Old Park Avenue, standing in the rain. Yeah, it took me long, hard years to get over you. It was an aching I refused to feel again. And looking back now, we never were quite right for each other, baby. But at the absence of passion in my life, I remember how alive love once was. And I sigh when I drive down this road, I reminisce. I drive slow, I've let him go now. Just see a ghost town, and sometimes at red lights with closed eyes, I tell myself, in fact, I dare myself to go on just saying somebody love me once, someday somebody will again, like the way you love me on Nightingale Lane. And though we never made it, stranger, you showed me it's true. Baby, when I'm loving someone, the way I love you, it was right there, early June, next to Old Park Avenue, standing in the rain, I watched him walk away. I've dabbled in love since, maybe every other summer. It never lasts long, they never stick around. I'm made of steel now. I believe someday someone gon' come along and knock them walls down, and knock them walls down. When I drive down this road, I'm reminded that though I've let him go now, right here in this ghost town, right here on this ground is where some
This sounded like a delicate explosion. I'll explain. First things first, we hit the like. I am subscribed, and I'll have a link of the original video down in the description below. Man, something about RAYE that I think she has this specific sound, an older soul, if you will, that I don't see much in general. I mean, it's not the type of music that I seek out and I listen to. It just sort of comes to me. And I feel like RAYE is one of those artists that just like appeared in front of my eyes because I needed to hear her music. Rhythm and blues, right? R&B, soulful, even similar to like gospel music in a way that they have the choir, like so much happening. It's a very full sound, right, with the orchestra. But here's the thing, this sound to me, this song is delicate. They really knew how to kind of let it simmer, right? Know when to go big and know when to go small. That is very important when it comes to musical composition. And in this case, this was like a masterpiece of showcasing, you know, the range of music and what you can do with it. Of course, the most powerful aspect of the song was her voice, the emotion that she put into the song, and the songwriting. The story here, you know, she keeps going back of like, man, when I had that love, when I had you in Nightingale Lane, right? And it's a type of love that I will never forget. She mentions how it was like her most heartbreaking. Maybe it's because it felt like the most real, and also because she was younger. And when we tend to look back into our younger years, there is an element of nostalgia, and you're thinking that things were better, and this was just like a better era overall. And she's saying like, oh, now every other summer I come across, another love, but it's just not the same. I'm made of steel now, and I just want somebody to, tear these walls down. And it happens. It's so real. I mean, I'm sure, people can relate. If you get crushed by somebody, right? You're in a relationship, all of a sudden it has to end for whatever reason. You're like, man, like all this time I dedicated, the time, the effort, the love, the different gestures, opening up. It's like, for what? Now it's over. So then people start to close up, right? They put up the barriers, the different layers, and maybe you do start to get colder until somebody comes along and proves to you that, there are good people out there and that you can love again. And it's something that in this song she's seeking. She's like, I want to have that feeling back. The different shots here, the way this was filmed, it almost reminds me of like those older videos when I look at footage from like the Beatles in the studio and stuff like that, how they just, it's a square, right? If you look at the dimensions of the video, if you guys, keen your poppers and take a look at the details here, almost a square dimension. And that used to be more traditional back then because televisions were square. Now more and more they get wider and wider, like the most wide dimensions you can think of, because they want to appeal to like movie screens, right, in the theater, and that's super wide. But this one, the fact that it's like this, and also the soft colors that they have going on here, like pastels, earthy tones, very subtle. It's something that you would have seen in like the 1960s. And so they're showing like little pieces of the different, symphony orchestra. Like here's this group, they're the ones playing the strings, and then here's the conductor, and then here's RAYE. They're making it seem like it's older, and I do appreciate the concept and the artistry behind it. Also, how she has this type of veil. I think you could call it a veil. I'm not familiar with the terminology, but it's something that, you probably wear when you're mourning, right? If you go to a funeral, or if you're sad, if you're that type of, situation, then you put it over your face, and it's like, okay, people understand that you're not going to a party wearing that, right? the different harmonies going on with the choir, I think it was just enough. Like I said, it's very important to try to balance the sound, and I think, you know, the levels of the mixing here, how loud the choir was very appropriate to the tone of the song, because this is very somber. You don't want them like shouting like, oh yeah, you want them to be kind of like this subtle element in the background, just enough that you can hear and understand that there's people there. Same with the strings. It felt so light, right? If you go back to the video, just except that one part at the end where it started climbing and this build up until you get to a crescendo, and then she just like boom. And I actually wasn't expecting that. I thought it was just gonna end, you know, the way that the song was going so far, but she did kind of explode at the end and you know, open up those big vocals, soprano, the falsettos, and it was like, okay, that's it. It had to happen, right? And then they brought it down. It was like a huge peak, and then it's like down, and at the end you just hear like little the most like the smallest sound, like a whispery, and then keys on the piano, and it ends. Just a beautiful, masterful sound design, I would say, and that's something that I've mentioned before about RAYE, the way that you know, she and her team come up with this way of creating sound that that again, I don't think we're used to hearing that anymore. It's a sound that was maybe more common and appreciated in the 1960s and 70s. I could mention again the Beatles, the Carpenters. I react to them a lot on my other channel called GeorgeTheCloud Classics, if you want to check it out. And the Carpenters, amazing at creating this type of soundscape, right? Where it just has like so many different elements going on, but it's like it's a different era of music. Anyway, just beautiful. Thank you guys for watching. If you have more suggestions, please comment, and also check out this playlist right here. Till the next.